Hi, welcome to my channel. If you guys are new here, this is Dwani, and if you guys have been following me so far, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in again. So, as you guys can read from the title, today's video is about part one. Actually, I'm planning to have three parts of it because obviously I'm talking about 11 years in US, and एक video में तो सब नहीं हो सकता ना. Like we need multiple videos. So yeah, so the plan for the part one of this video would be like talk about the early days in US, like when I moved from India to US, studies, culture, internships, getting used to living by your own, and so on. Whereas I'm planning my part two to be more on the personal side of it, or maybe career aspect, like how my career progressed from after I graduated to where I am right now. And maybe the last part would be on the personal life. It's not written in stone. We'll see how it goes. But ये अभी के लिए plan है. So let's begin. I don't want to waste a lot of your time, but yeah, it's going to be a longer video. If you want any kind of tea, coffee, like I'm having tea with me, please go ahead and get it. Because हाँ थोड़ा लंबा होने वाला है ये. But I hope it helps to whoever wants to come to US either for studies या फिर I don't know, vacation, or if for immigration or any such purposes. So let's begin. Now let's go all the way back to 2012 when I was 21 years old. So when I was in my undergrad, my friends were planning to come to US for studies, and I thought, ki, why not? My main reason for technically coming to US was I wanted to have this, just say the way they show it in Bollywood movies, a lot of parties, independent life. I wanted to try all those things, okay, before getting married because I was still in the Indian mentality when I was coming here, if that makes sense. So yeah, me in 2012, I wanted to come to US so that independence, studies, obviously, enjoy the party life before my parents pressure me to get married, and so on. And because my friends were planning to come here, so I was like, why not? Let's give it a shot. And just a disclaimer here that yeah, I do acknowledge the fact that I come from a privileged background where I was like my parents were able to send me to US and didn't have any issues other than the fact that for the first time in my life, I was moving out of my house. So I studied my entire life in Ahmedabad. Even in my undergrad, I was like 15 minute ghar se dur. So it was the first time I was moving literally away, like 16 hours flight away from home, completely new place, new people. But because I was coming with my friends, it was an easier transition. I knew them since like 3, 4 years already, and they were coming to the same university I was going to. So it was easier for my parents. It was easier for me because to a certain extent I knew people with whom I was going to stay. And I did have, or I have, अच्छे खासे relatives in America when I was coming. So I studied in Boston, and we will come to that in some time. But I do have an aunt who stays in Boston, and she was amazing enough. They were like, if you're coming to Boston, leave it on me. I'll find a place for you to stay, and till the time you get क्या बोलते हैं, your apartment ready, you can stay at our place. So me and two of my friends, we stayed at her place for the first 10 days till the time we got the apartment ready. But cutting through the chase, yeah, I studied in Boston, as I mentioned earlier. I studied in a university called Northeastern University. So when I was applying, I think Northeastern was only in Boston, but I think recently they have opened up the satellite campuses almost everywhere. Like they have one in Bay Area where I am right now. I'm in California, Seattle, and yeah, they do have a lot of satellite things. But the reason for choosing Northeastern, like I did have admit for from few other universities like USC, yeah, that USC, LA, difficult to get in university. We'll get there later on. So I had USC, I had UIC, which is in Chicago. I did have friends going there as well, and then NEU, and then couple of more, but I never thought about going there. SJSU, I think, yeah, the SJSU was the other one, and one more which I can't recollect right now. But the reason for NEU, for me to choose NEU, especially over USC, was like USC at that time was 1.5 times when it comes to the tuition fees compared to NEU. My friends were in NEU, and NEU does help, or Northeastern University does help in all sort of internships. And in the hindsight, I think that was a really good decision to make because Boston is an amazing city if that is your first city in US, if that makes sense. Because Boston may, there are all colleges. Like you have your computer science, like you have a Northeastern, you have a Boston University, obviously you have MIT, you have Cambridge, and all of them are together. And also a lot of pharmacy college, medical college. So the entire town is like a college town. A lot of pubs, clubs, though there were, how to say this, पढ़ाई काफ़ी थी. What I thought that I'll party a lot didn't happen. There was a lot of studies involved. I did my master's in computer science, and I think maybe it's just me, but when I was studying in undergrad in India, it was a lot of theoretical knowledge. We didn't have a lot of um, assignments to do. Whereas snap back here in Northeastern, it was a lot of work. I still remember, like, I used to, I mean, stay up entire night. So we would have like 7 days, and being a master's student, you have 3 classes in a week, not like crazy schedules like undergrad, but you just have like 3 classes a week. Mostly evening में classes रहते थे, and then you have assignments. But the assignments would take up like 40 to 60 hours. Yeah, and I mean, it was a different problem that I stayed with non-computer science students except one, and all the northeastern computer science students stayed somewhere else who would help each other out. And here I am staying with non-computer science students. I didn't know anybody in the first semester, so it was very difficult to navigate. Um, and also, like one more thing that if you guys are planning to come to US, the difference between studying in US versus Canada is कि US में you cannot work off campus. So sorry, I was just getting a call. Anyways, so US you can't work off campus. What I mean by that is like you can either do internships that are related to your studies, or you can work on campus as a proctor, as a cashier, but it should be on the campus of the university you're studying in. So for the first year of my stay in US, I didn't have a job either on campus, off campus. Uh, and I was very much a fresher. So I never had work experience either back in India nor in US. Um, and but thankfully, I was able to manage an internship in my very first after the first year, like in 2013 um, summer. And my first internship was in Nokia. Back then, it was still Nokia, not acquired by Microsoft yet. It was fun, a lot of new tech, and it was just good to see things working. Like this was like 2013, I was working on AWS services, which was pretty new at that time. The people I was working with, they were like, feel free to use any kind of AWS, what you call systems that you want. So I ended up using EC2, DynamoDB, a very techy thing at that time, and it was fun. But at the same time, थोड़ा difficult था well move to US because your culture shock, right? So I never stayed outside of my home or hometown to be. And then you come to Boston, you see a lot of different ethnicities staying in a lot. You see a very different culture, and also when you're so I never cooked in India, yeah, and here I was supposed to cook by myself, get my groceries. And also, to a certain extent, I did feel bad that I didn't have a job because obviously I was getting money from home at that time. I didn't have on campus or off campus, which kind of which only happened for the first year because after the first year I did have internship, and at that time the pay was good enough. And I still remember this is a very funny thing. So obviously I had no job and I got an internship offer, and they were paying me very less. Okay, so I was like, why would I take this internship offer when I'm going to use a lot of brain and not do another on-campus job which pays technically more because there's no commute involved. And then I ended up getting another internship at Nokia, and that was fun. So that's the first year in Boston. And also Boston, you get to see all the season, right? Like you have summer, spring, snow. For the first time I had experienced snowfall other than the one we get in India, in northern part of India, but like literally staying in snowfall, snowstorms. Also, we were once stuck in a snowstorm where there was no electricity at all. Um, it was fun times for a week. The good part was the assignments were cancelled. We were not supposed to do the assignment that week. That was good. But I was also introduced to different cultures from India because I always grew up staying with Gujarati folks. So there I ended up meeting like folks from like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai, Indore, I mean MP, and West Bengal, and a lot of things, right? So there's a lot of culture exposure in terms of within India also, and a lot of different kind of food. I mean, I had many food for the first time. Indian food I'm talking about in US and not in India, like a lot of South Indian food or like a typical Telugu food, Marathi food. Like I never had misal growing up in India that I had in Boston. A lot of the people in my house were Gujaratis, so we would just do garba a lot of times. If we are bored, if we are drunk, we'll do garba. But yeah, that was the like very much first year. After the internship, I did have a written offer from the internship to join them back in Nokia, but I was like, why not? Let's try something else for my other internship. So after my third semester ended, I ended up interviewing for internships again. So I had an offer from Nokia. I was able to get another offer from a different company. I don't remember the name right now, and one more. So I always like this is the thing I followed till now in my career, that I always like to have more than one offers, so it helps to negotiate better and you know where you stand, right? So I didn't ended up choosing Nokia because I just experienced that, but that was the best internship experience one could ask for. And I ended up choosing one of the internships, and I remember negotiating with them, and they had like 4 or 5 interns from my university, and they ended up increasing the pay for all of us. Fun, right? Yeah. So my third semester, when it comes to studies wise, I had this thing where I wanted to get 4 pointers. Like you have your GPA is 4 out of 4, right? So I wanted to get 4 GPA. I got 4 GPA because first semester I did not score, even though how well I did. So I had this very weird क्या बोलते हैं कि चाहिए ही मतलब 4 GPA चाहिए. So second semester I got 4 GPA, and in third semester I was like, if I want I can get 4 GPA, so that's okay. Let's keep it light. So that was that. Third semester I had my internship. It was in a fintech kind of a place. And this was an 8 month internship. My summer internship was like a 2 month thing. This internship was like an 8 month thing where I was dropping my semester. Internship was okay. I was not super excited about it towards the end of it. I did cut short my internship. I think a lot of things were at play. I I don't know why, but my anxiety was heightened, and it was not because of the work, but maybe because of the commute and all those things. I don't know what played up. I was not able to sleep at night. So I did cut short my internship, and I did pay my last semester fees entirely. I had a lot of fun in Boston, man. Please let me know if you have any questions regarding Boston. Like, I can just go on and on. Also, the safe and unsafe area, because Boston does have a crime to a certain extent. And also, Northeastern did help a lot, especially in finding the second internship, which is the 8 month internship thing. Um, and it did help a lot. What else? Yeah, my last semester. So I did have an offer again for full time from my previous the 8 month internship company. I didn't want to join it because I got sleepless nights before because of it. So I ended up giving a lot of interviews. I remember my very first trip to West Coast or California was because I was interviewing with Google. And the funny thing is, I was staying in a hotel and I was supposed to go to Google's office for an interview, and they said that they would provide a car. I didn't used to drive back then, so I asked for an Uber. Was itna nahi tha Uber us time, but this is like 2014. You need to understand it's like 9 years back. So I went to interview in Google in what you call shit. I forgot the party car, the place where it has limousine. Yeah, I went to interview in Google in limousine, and I was all dressed up in like a bit formal attire. I think I screwed up the interview. Looking back, it was a really bad interview that I did. Thanks to them. I mean, that they did took all the 5 interviews, and I think I screwed up 2 out of 5. But then they have so many applicants that they don't care, right? If you screw up like one, you're gone. They're not going to give you offer. So I did not get offered there. I gave a lot more interviews. I don't remember the companies I gave in. And towards the end, I think January 2015, I was like, fuck it, screw it, I'll just join. the company, which gave me sleepless nights. But I did have one more interview to go on, and I was like, shall I go? It was in a different city, and I was like, "Look, jana hai, nahi jana." I was not sure about it, and मेरी roommate, she was like, "Hey, just give it a try. Like, even if you don't get it, you will just go to a different city. They are providing you flight. It's a day thing. You're going in the morning, coming back in the evening. What's the harm?" I was like, हाँ ठीक है चलो चलो try कर लेते हैं. So I had a morning flight. I had zero preps for it. Okay, I had zero preparation for it, and I went there. It was a 1.5 to 2 hours of interview. It was in a company called PwC or PricewaterhouseCoopers. They were doing their internal software tooling, a kind of a startup vibe in a big four kind of company. So it went well. So by the time I reached to the airport, I got a call regarding that, oh, we are happy to give you offer. I did not negotiate because I was very happy. I mean, they were offering me position in San Jose, which is California, and that's where I always wanted to go. And it turned out well for me. Like that one dialogue from my roommate, कि हाँ जाके आ क्या फर्क पड़ता है? मतलब it's just a day's trip. That changed a lot of things and had a ripple effect overall in my life. Uh, but that's how I scored the first full time gig, I would say. I mean, money wise, we can talk about career progression in the part two of it, and I'll go in detail or in depth of how it went. But I just wanted to give you the overview of like first 2 years from 2012 to 2015, my stay in Boston. As I mentioned, Boston does have some locales or some neighborhoods which are not super safe. So if you're planning to come to Boston in general, or let me know. Or even if you're somebody who is planning to come here for studies, or do you, if you think that is US still worth when it comes to pursuing your studies, I can definitely fill in. But I'm thankful to a certain extent because I did achieve financial freedom. My friends were there in Boston for the first 2 years with me, but then after that, it was like completely me on my own in a different city, figuring out new friends, evolving as a person. Because one thing I've realized ki if you want to evolve as a person, you need to meet different kind of people. If you are in the same group your entire life, your viewpoints might stay similar, might evolve a bit. But because I got this chance to like even going movies by my own, going to restaurants by my own, I think it helped me evolve in what I am today, where I am today. Obviously, I'm not at such a great position, but wherever I am today, it helped me. But I hope you guys like the part one of it. Let me know how you think. I mean, obviously, I'm going to do the part two and part three, and I'll be uploading them like real soon because I don't want to keep them like completely separate. Um, but yeah, this is the first 2 years life about Boston. I can go about Boston on and on. I can go with Northeastern on and on. And this is an overview, not an in-depth thing, because if I start in-depth thing, मतलब घंटे लग जाएंगे, उतना टाइम किसी के पास नहीं है. But अगर आपको कोई question है, please feel free to message me in the comments or on the Instagram. I'll just leave my Instagram down. Most of my Instagram stuff is like my day-to-day life, like a daily vlog style, or I like fashion, so something related to that, or being a women's software engineer and leading the IC path and not the managerial path and things like that. Feel free to follow me there. But if you like this video and if you like this kind of videos, do like, like, subscribe so I know you guys are liking it. And please comment in the comment box what you want to know more of whatever I've said before. Because I do feel that in nowadays life, it's really important to be financially independent, and I would leave it there. Like I don't know how to follow it up with, but yeah, it's really important to be financially independent, and that's what I've learned so far. So that's it. I'll see you very soon with part two of it and part three of it, and answer any questions that you might have, maybe with a video or with a respond on the comment section. Till then, bye, and as always, be beautifully you.